Well, welcome PGCC family, and thanks for checking in right now. Doesn't it sometimes feel like it's two steps forward and one step back? But right now it feels like maybe one step forward and two steps back. By now you've understood that we've had to readjust and not go to on-site services, and we feel badly about that. We wish that wasn't the way it is, but it is, so we'll readjust. And yesterday and today, the last couple of days, our staff has met and talked about how to make some of those readjustments and to keep moving us forward in ministry as a church. And we want to make sure that what we do is caring and compassionate, that all of us are on board, and that no one feels left out. So we've really recommitted ourselves, first of all, to staying connected as best we can with each and every one of you. Secondly, we want to make sure that all of you have an experience of worship that is of high quality. So we will be doing the video of the services that will be produced for each and every Sunday. So be praying for those. Be praying for those. And then thirdly, we don't want anyone to be left out at all. So we want to make sure that as we communicate, you can help us by sharing ways to connect with PGCC through the website, or just making sure that you connect with friends and neighbors, invite them to watch the services on the weekends or whatever. But we'd love to have everyone stay connected to PGCC. Our also one of our goals is to just make sure we're praying together. So be praying for our staff, for our leaders, for our church, that we don't miss out on God's continued mission here, that we don't stall out, because it can seem that way at times. We don't want to have that happen. We're launching a new series this week, kind of readjusted that as well. We want to talk about what it is for God to be our good shepherd, looking at Psalm 23. Maybe familiar to most all of us, and yet the truths of Psalm 23 are just vital for us. So be praying about that as well. But how is God just the good shepherd, the way that he provides, the way that he guides, the way that he provides courage and peace for us? All of those topics and themes are very relevant to our lives today. Some years ago, one of my best friends is a guy named Brent. And when his daughter Bridget was really young, she was maybe 3 years old, and they would go for hiking sometimes in the mountains, and he would put her on his back in a pack in his back. And she was little, and she had some physical issues, and she couldn't walk very well, and so he needed to carry her. And as they were kind of moving their way up this mountain trail, when they came to the challenging, difficult parts where he had to kind of struggle over some of the rocks and boulders, she would reach her little hand over his shoulder and grab onto his hand and lift his arm up in the air like she was helping him to walk by carrying his weight. And sometimes it can feel that way for us, like we're trying to do our part, but God is more than adequate to meet the needs that we have. God is more than adequate to be the one that gives us a clear path as we walk through life. So let's remember that as we go. I read these verses today, and I wanted to share them with you. They come from 2 Corinthians 4, 8 through 10. Got to get my glasses right now. It says this, the Apostle Paul wrote this: "We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not abandoned. Struck down, but not destroyed. We always carry around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be revealed in our body." I think what the apostle was trying to say to those early believers was, just remember that you represent Christ. And whatever hard knocks come your way, we represent Jesus. And Jesus is the one that gives us the power to live victoriously for him, so that others can see that in our life. That's my hope, that not this time that we would be void of God, or that we wouldn't be strong with God, but just the opposite, that God would reveal himself in new ways for us, that we could share that with those around us. So hey, let's be praying for that. Love you, miss you, and hopefully soon we'll be able to reconvene. But in the meantime, let's stay connected. Let's be God's church.